Wednesday War College, we got the expert on spiritual warfare, Kyle Clement. He's been working with Father Ripperger for the past 15, 16 years. He's literally Father Ripperger's right-hand man. And so this is the most literate, knowledgeable lay Catholic on planet Earth when it comes to Catholic spiritual warfare. Kyle, I want to just ask you also about what the whole thesis of this article is, that you have ancient demons that are returning to America. Would that be something? Well, God, we know that demons can't die. Demons are indestructible as well as angels. They can't die. They're eternal. So what would you say about Naomi Wolf and Jonathan Cain, about some of these Old Testament demons have come back, or they're here and now? Maybe people call them under different names, but is that something that would be consistent with the Catholic understanding of angelology?
Close. It would be very close. And so the understanding is that the angels and the order of angels was created whole and entire at the moment of creation. And so there has not been an ongoing creation of angels. And so every angel and subsequently every demon that is present among us now has always been present to us since the beginning of time. And so with that understanding, now their influence wanes and waxes depending upon how much prayer, sacrifice, devotion, attention is given to them. In the same way that the angelic influence it wanes and waxes, and depending upon how much prayer we offer. Here's the difference, is the diabolical will militate or work until they reach opposition. The angelic will only engage when they're invited. And so all of the prayers, one of the reasons that our weather is in such shape and everything is in such shape, is we've got way fewer praying farmers. We've got way fewer praying people who are directly associated with the world correctly in a rightly ordered way. And so this is another example where the deviancy, those demons that have sway over the weather, now are responding to aggrandizing the earth as if it were a deity, and them as if they are deities, the weather gods, etc. And so all of that kind of language militates and empowers the other side. They never went anywhere. The demons that are in Mexico, that the Blessed Mother stopped the child sacrifice of the Aztecs and the Mayans. She stopped that child sacrifice. Well, those demons went nowhere. They went underground. Now they're being empowered by the cartel. They're being empowered by the sex trafficking, the sacrifice. What's happening to children around the world is empowering those demons and those people to understand a person's power and stature in the evil realm grows when they desecrate a child. This is what was happening on Epstein's Island. This is what's happening with pedophilia, is a person grows in stature and power on the dark side when they desecrate a child, when they abrogate that sacred trust of a child. This is the ticket to power, status, and influence among the diabolical. That's what we're seeing.
Okay, so when you're saying that a person grows in stature and power whenever they're engaged in diabolical acts, we're talking about the human person grows in stature and power, not the demon, correct? I mean, the demon can grow in stature and power, right? Right?
Both. Both.
Wow.
He grows in influence, and that's what I'm saying is, once that movement is started, so for instance, abortion in this country fuels or empowers both Moloch and Baphomet and many other demons. This is why abortion is so viscerally defended. This is why homosexuality is a rabid response anytime you challenge any of these things. When you talk about the mutilation of a pubescent child, a pubescent body, you're going to tell them their bedtime, but you're not going to tell them their gender. Logic is absolutely out the door, out the window. And this is what enables the diabolical to grow and influence in our culture and in our society.
Okay, so when you're saying that the demon grows in stature and power, what you mean is they're growing in influence, right, over our culture. Like when people commit abortion and the whole LGBT movement. I could see how the person grows in stature and power. I could just look at somebody like Katy Perry and, Lady Gaga. They make tons of money and they become super famous. But the demon when an abortion is committed or something heinous like that, the demon grows in stature and power in terms of his influence, right? Or the demon's influence on society, correct?
That's absolutely right. Just think of it in inverse form. So here's what happens. Is a diabolical entity, a demon of at least principality class, will set himself up opposite a bishop in a geographical area. And he is going to take credit for every untimely death within that geographical area, whether that's abortion, euthanasia, abused hospice, suicide. He's going to take credit for every bit of that, and he will draw, just as hyenas draw, he will draw more demons to him in a given area, and then the area begins to go dark. And so sin and egregious sin, mortal sin, becomes the norm. A very good bishop, on the other hand, if he increases the flow of sacramental grace or grace through the sacraments by increased numbers of baptisms, weddings, Holy Eucharist, all of these things, then that increases the flow of grace into a given area, and the light becomes brighter. And so this becomes a grace-filled area, and that actually expels the diabolical. You can see this in communities. You can see it in neighborhoods. You certainly saw it when you were in law enforcement, and it's almost across the street. One side of the street will be one way, and the other side of the street will be another way.
Yeah, you're right.
We see it in small towns. There's small towns in America. There's small towns in America which would make soap operas blush. The infidelity, adultery, whatever it may be, a particular spirit becomes entrenched within that community, and you see it. And then you go right down the road, looks like the same kind of community, but there's a totally different atmosphere because there's a strong church, there's a strong priest, there's sacramental grace flowing into that area. But that's the spiritual atmosphere, or the spiritual topography, if you will.
Kyle, so with the Temple of Satan's doing around the country, then this is the third city that they went to go and do a conference and consecrate the city. They're doing that intentionally to draw more demons into that area, and so that that area could grow more in darkness, correct? That this is by intent.
You're precisely right, and they're opportunists. And so what you're looking for is they are opportunists. They're going to places that are already on the decline, which have a weak or a compromised prelate, a prelate who is under attack or tottering, so to speak. Now, interestingly enough, you won't see them being
Kyle, we're gonna have to stop here, brother. We're gonna have to pick that up next week. So many other questions I have to ask you.